Welcome to Performance TV. What's the enemy of metal parts? Obviously, it's rust. And after wintertime, driving the car in the snow, they might have a little rust on them. Or if you're going to do a spring restoration, think about doing a new car this summer and restoring it, you surely have a lot of rusty parts on it. So I've got David from Evapo-Rust, and David, we can make these old parts with rust on them look like brand new?
Sure, Tommy. This is, we're going to use Evapo-Rust. Evapo-Rust is the #1 non-toxic rust remover in America.
I like the sound of that, non-toxic.
Yeah, it is. It's completely safe. You can put your hands in it. It will not hurt you at all. If you get it in your eyes, you don't notice it's there. If you get it in your mouth, it tastes really bad. But other than that, that's pretty much it. It's really easy for us to use. We're going to just take parts like these demonstration parts we've got here. We got this old valve cover. We're just going to drop them in.
So there's no sanding, no prep work. You don't have to have it blasted. I mean, a lot of people blast stuff. That could damage the metal.
Sure. It could damage the metal. It's going to warp the metal. If you've got parts that got original paint on them, you don't want the original paint to come off of it, how do you do it? You just drop them in Evapo-Rust.
Now this is going to remove the rust, but it'll leave the paint on.
That's right.
And then where there's paint probably not at, it'll be back to bare metal?
Exactly. Wherever there is no rust, you're going to have bare metal. We're just going to set that one in halfway.
Yeah, we see a little difference where it was and where it wasn't.
Even if you've got something like this that's got a wooden handle on it, throw the whole thing in.
Well, I got to tell you, I've had some tools at home, and I've used Evapo-Rust. I had some wrenches that were got really humid in the summer. Somehow they got all rusty. Maybe I left them somewhere, I don't know. But I threw them in Evapo-Rust, came back the next day, grabbed it out of there. It looked like a brand new wrench.
That's what we do. That's what Evapo-Rust does. It takes rust off the metal without damaging anything else, including you. It's reusable. Each gallon will do about 300 pounds of parts, so you use it over and over and over until it turns completely black. It's safe for the environment. It doesn't have any solvents. It doesn't have any fumes or vapors. It's easy to use, and when you're through using it, it's really easy to get rid of. Most people can either put it down the drain, or it's liquid iron, so then you would take it outside and put it on your grass.
Now, I've used mine over and over. I've got a little bucket at home. I just keep dropping stuff in it all the time. I'll find something in the house, rusty, throw it in there, come back next day, brand new.
Sure. That's the beauty of Evapo-Rust.
Now this stuff, we're going to let it set, let it soak, let the Evapo-Rust work, and then when we come back, we'll pull them out and we'll be able to see a difference later in the show. Well, Kathy, earlier in the show, David from Evapo-Rust and I put some old rusty parts in the Evapo-Rust to let them soak and take off the rust. David, what is the next step after they've been soaking?
Well, we let these soak overnight, and the next step is you're going to pull them out and you're going to rinse them with water. Well, we're just going to improvise here, and we're just going to wipe them off, and we're going to take a look to see what we've got. And
it's pretty evident the rust is gone from part of that and still on the other half, so you can see how well it works.
Yeah, it goes right down through the rust, down to the bare metal, and then it's going to stop and not attack anything else. You can see there's still pits in there. We can't fill pits in, but we can take the rust out of the pits.
Man, parts of this look like it's brand new.
Yeah, you could actually paint that up and make it a serviceable part. Let's look at some of these other ones we've got in here. Here's the one that had the wooden handle on it.
That wood looks great.
The wood is completely fine. You let that dry out, and it's going to be great. And you can see the rasp is completely derusted.
Right.
It gets into and it's actually sharp again. So you're ready to go.
Man, I mean, it did as well on the wood as it did on the metal.
Yeah, it looks pretty good, doesn't it? Let's take a look. Here's this one that was just...
There's an oil pump.
An oil pump, and you can see down in the grates.
Oh, it even got inside there. Everything. Inside the screen. It'll soak into parts of the metal where the holes are, goes in. I'm sure the inside of the tube's even derusted.
Absolutely, absolutely. And this thing you probably could flush out and probably have to disassemble it, but you could put it back to work.
Clean it up a little bit, put it back on the car.
Yeah, here's a painted part that we did. You can see that, remember there was rust all through this paint. Once we take the rust off, whatever paint's under there is left alone. Whatever rust is there is completely removed.
Right, you couldn't even hardly tell that that was white before.
Right, and if you wanted to know what the original part looked like, or what the original color was, get you right back to where you were. Here is a...
There's the valve cover off an old Cadillac.
The old Cadillac, came off a hearse.
That was completely rusted inside of there.
It was one solid chunk of rust, and now it's down to nothing. Pull it out, rinse it with water, dry it. I'd probably give that a coat of paint and then put it back on.
That looks great.
And here's our last one. This is the old dashboard.
Now look at the other half. You can hardly tell that it's blue. You can see a few spots of blue, but look where the Evapo-Rust took off the rust. It's all blue.
It's all blue. And now you know the original color. You're probably going to repaint this anyway, but if you were interested in leaving it the original paint, there it is.
Yeah, I'm telling you what, that is amazing. Now, once we've got these done, you have something that'll keep them from re-rusting?
Right. Well, we've got one more piece, and that's our bolt that we left in there. I couldn't see it, but there it is.
Man, I'm telling you what, all the rust is gone.
Ready
Now,
to go.
rust block, you spray it on there, and it'll prevent them from re-rusting.
That's right. If you're gonna spray it down, let's see, I've got one right here. We can just spray it on. It's a water-based rust inhibitor. You just spray it on there and let that dry, and it's going to prevent that from re-rusting for about a year. And when you get ready to remove that, rinse it with water, dry it, and you're ready to paint.
This stuff is great, David. Easy, simple way, and safe way to remove rust from metal. Be sure and check them out at evapo-rust.com. That's all we've got for this week, Performance TV. We'll be back next week.